Okay. So while I'm doing the predictions, I'm just going to ask that everybody keep their microphones off, your cameras on, microphones off. Okay. Just because I think the last time someone's dog was barking and it interferes with other people's ability to hear properly. And we're all here with the same intention. You're welcome to ask questions. If you have a question, once I'm done, after each segment, I'll pause for questions, and I'll also take questions in the end. And if I feel called to, I may do a little angel channeling as well. Okay? And that will allow you to ask whatever questions to divine energy that I don't have the answers for. And I just don't know everything, but they do. So I don't have to worry about that. We're going to cover quite a few things today. Some that may make you happy, some may not. But the intention is not really about making everyone happy, but about bringing awareness. So when things transpire as they have in the past, we're not all so shook. Simone, does your camera work? And Jeanette, did you have any luck? We're going to cover things.
I'm sorry, no, and I'm trying to switch computers, but I can't find my charger, so this must not be my morning.
Okay, take it easy. Don't stress. We can hear you, so it's fine.
Okay, I promise you that picture that's there is me.
Oh, I know it's you, dear. We've spoken before. So,
I'm driving in my car. That's why I have my camera off. But
oh, okay.
once I'm back, I can put my camera on.
Be careful, girl.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys see me looking down, I'm looking between my little black book and a notebook, because for the past month, I've just been jotting as I felt something come on. Okay. I will try my best to keep this in order, but once it comes out, I don't like to like rewrite very much because I don't want anything to change from its original translation. Okay. So, we're going to be discussing diseases, economy, politics, environment, foreign policies, the Royals, CERN, NASA, AI, ETs, other countries like North and South Korea, US government, of course, I think I already said that, gun laws, children's safety, Russia, cars, which was random. I never really see anything on technology like that or something. And also whatever you all would like to discuss. Okay. We have 2 hours from 12:30. So let's have ourselves a time here. I also want to make it clear we may not all be of the same mindset in how we view the world, and that is okay. This is not about my opinion. This is about what I'm understanding, the download of information that I'm getting when I am sitting in the space for predictions. This is universal energy as it's happening right now, because we all have the ability to act on our free will. So many things can change. On a global level, it has to be a lot of free will actions also, not just one person. So whatever it is that I'm reading to you is not a personal perspective, okay? It is a understanding from divine energy. So, there's really not much of a debate that needs to happen if someone does not agree. Just know that I respect everyone's opinion. We're always in a much better place when we can just move forward harmoniously with respect for one another's boundaries. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start off with some of the messages that Spirit just shared with me for everyone. And when I am in automatic writing, it's really hard for me sometimes to read my own handwriting. So if I need to pause for a moment, please bear with me, okay? Your time on this earth is shifting right before your eyes. You, as a collective, have played a role in destruction and healing. Together, you all have the choice to ascend into a 5D existence of healing, unity, and freedom, or stay in the 3D reality, a low vibrating ego-based existence. This does not mean death. This means new life. Yes, you continue to live on this earth, but you as a person are no longer the same, no longer so simple. You are aware, you are respective, you are unified energetically and on a more empathic level. Your personal perspective will change towards your life and the world around you. You will have a choice. The human experience has never been an easy one, as the human is a complex being, but also a brilliant and powerful one that has never fully unleashed its full potential. This is the opportunity to do so. Other worlds and dimensions exist harmoniously for hundreds, even some thousands of years before even knowing death. And when their bodies descend, their souls immediately ascend to anew. No fear surrounds such a transition, as they know they will be right back. But the human is yet too dense to understand such a phenomenon can exist. If you cannot see it, you doubt it. It is unfortunate. We are here to help you move through this unprecedented time with ease and minimal casualties, suffering less loss to man and earth. The earth has been good to humankind. The same cannot be said for most humans. With so many selfish ways and gluttonousness, we do not understand why one would dirty up its home. It's unheard of for us. However, what is done, and fortunately, it is repairable in due time. Some harm will take multiple years, if not lifetimes. However, we must move on. Understanding that global warfare is not about bombs, but power and money. This is the greed of the human. That is our call to rise and to help all of you. This life is a precious one. You are all courageous for being here in this time of instant history and creation. As soon as life happens, everyone moves on without a moment to revel in its greatness and wonder. It is what's next. It is what's new. The earth and all that inhabit are truly the greatest wonder and beauty. It is our wish that you all could see the same. In ascending, you will see that, and we will be here for you. Do not fear all that you will hear today. It's all part of the divine planning to heal your world, the new reality of and for your people and the world. With all of our love, Spirit. So I'm going to go between pages because as I took a break, I would come back, they would talk about something else and then they would go back. So it was kind of like this back and forth conversation. This next part was written at 4:35 a.m. on April 9th. This is path 1. And for some reason I had to write that. And I believe this is the 3D existence. I was in a sound sleep and I was woken up. I could hear my name being screamed. And as I woke up, I started getting this insane download. And I remember like jumping out of my bed saying, I can't even see where a notebook is. I can't find a pencil. I usually keep this or another notebook very close to me. So they were talking about things like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, neurological diseases. And I started hearing initials NMN, MNM. And I understood that this, and I thought it was, they were saying coqui, but what I came to understand, it's a COQ10. And I believe these are all supplements. And that here lies what the human needs so that the brain doesn't age in that way. I'm not a doctor. I'm just translating my understanding. Then it took a shift from health to talk about government. And I said this before in 2021 and 2022, and it continues to be the same. This is a lot for 4:35 in the morning, so bear with me. Biden is a one-term president, period. Punto.com. That's it. A woman takes lead. Many are shocked and displeased. What so many people are concerned about where Trump will go in this run, and it seems to really fall back for me. It almost like he falls into a shadow, because it looks like some people are really trying to push the DeSantis agenda, but many from the party are not thrilled with him either. So that falls back also. And this doesn't seem like much of a threat from either way. This is. So what I came to understand, I don't see any gray-haired men in the Oval Office leading the way. There is some kind of larger health concern towards the end of his presidency. There's something here. I kept on feeling a lot of pressure in my head. And to be honest, I wasn't sure what if it was a fall, if it was it just feels like a blunt pain to the head, where it puts his VP in the office for the end of his term. And it doesn't feel like a very long time. So it feels like that's fine. VP meaning Kamala. Trump, then it goes into Trump does not prevail in his legal matters or in his re-election. And that seems to cause even more of a ruckus, because there's now a woman there, and a woman who looks like she's gunning for the office. While so many focus on that, again, like I said just a few minutes ago, DeSantis seems to have a lot of snake in the grass type of agendas and cult-like mentalities to believe that women should be subservient to men. he seems to be ahead by like a hair, but nothing, it goes nowhere. He does not have what it takes to be the president. And some damage has been done within the party itself, and seems to have left a bad taste in his party's mouth. And people do not want the country run like he is running Florida. Guys, I don't know how far Marianne Williamson can get in this race, but it seems to me that she gets pretty far. It seems to me that she's talking the language of many Gen X, Gen Z, Alpha, all these, the younger generations. She's talking a language that most people haven't heard, and they like it. I keep on seeing a woman with hair about my length and brown, and I keep on seeing it from the back. I'm trying to get the full encompass on if that's going to be her, but something within says she gets pretty far. That stirs a lot of chaos. It stirs a lot of chaos. Guys, you know, no one can clean up a mess like a woman. Only a woman can multitask than what is necessary in that office right now, you know, and something within says that she may be that person. The old must fall to ascend into what I kept on hearing as the new America. And the new America does well. Okay. When a man is not elected or chosen, you could just imagine the mayhem that's going to break out. Okay. So we've seen it before, expect it again. There is something forming, and I keep on hearing it as the Republic of America. The Republic of America. And what's really wild is that it feels as though it's already been started. Okay. There is a part of what the Republican Party, it just feels as though they're trying to diminish or just completely take out anything else that does not think as that way. And I don't believe that this is just like a Republican Democratic thing. I feel as this is a mindset. And when I was working on this, where's that drawing? Where is it? Okay. So this is kind of like, I know you can't really see it, but like, so this is the country, and everything in the middle looks where it's X'd out, seems like it's very unsafe for women and children. It looks like really almost like the bookend states, some parts of the Northeast and the West seem like the safer spaces, but that whole Bible Belt part and some of those in the middle, it just seems like they're trying to form something new. Something that just doesn't seem like it's very American. There's really not much democracy there. And that leaves me, you know, quite unsettled. But once, you know, it seems that there's a woman who has the possibility of even winning, that really just starts to cause hellfire from within. The Republic of America continues to do its evil work, but it feels like underground, and it feels like more women of childbearing years and children come missing at a rapid level. And it's like enslavement in a way, and reproduction. I kept on seeing children in classrooms, and there's nobody there but like just two people, and my understanding was that the mother was somewhere else. So this is a mass effort. for those who believe in the Republic of America, very radical conservatives. And it seems as though some other countries already know about this. And I kept on hearing PanGov, PanGov, PanGov. I have no idea what that is. And then I said it was bothering me for about 2 days. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to Google what the hell this could possibly mean. And so pan is of one. It means of one. And I'm sorry, I didn't see who sent it. It does sound, yep. Yes, it does. The pan means of one. The earth is, and then I heard the earth is one, but the people are many, and resist this kind of rise. So a lot of people are against what's happening, from what I'm understanding. Like, everyone doesn't want this. Only a certain group wants this, but they have quite a few people who are interested in this. Okay. So even with so many wonderful efforts, it seems at this time like there's a lot of sinking ships. In just a few years' time, it is physically two different countries. And that's not a lack of effort from a new president, but it's almost like we can't continue to kill one another. And you have a choice as to whether or not you want to be here or there. Again, one is of dictatorship, the other one is of democracy. Timing. This all feels like it's more into 2024. Things are warming up now, but next year it gets really wild. So this, as crazy as anytime between 2020 and now feels, this still feels like the calm before the storms. It's not all doom and gloom, guys, I promise. In the Republic of America, being heterosexual or Anglo, that doesn't guarantee safety. And it seems almost like something feels like, I saw like a flag post going into the ground around 2030. So it's almost like it is official by then. And they have their own laws in their land. And that's very 3D universe for me. Like, that stays very 3D. There's not much evolution happening here. And they cannot make into the ascension into the 5D reality that's coming in the months and years ahead. The old world cannot enter the new one. Period. Does anybody have any questions? We can go, I could take them later on also. Okay, here's something that I found very interesting, and it brought me joy. Gun laws. The NRA does back down once the new president is seated. Congress and the Senate it appears very different as well. Some familiar faces are forced to fall back or not reelected. The new America does not support such disorder and abuse of power to continue and or exist. A lot of change in a short amount of time. Surprisingly enough, the NRA is actually recommending adjustments or sorts and some sort of compliances with change ultimately. So there's some sort of compliance or change or rehabilitation or reform that actually takes place. And it seems like there's very little pushback for that. Which someone had asked me about children's safety. Once there is a new seated president, there is action. The war on drugs is now the war on guns. No tolerance laws are passed in many states and reformed laws. Remember, that's in what seems to be the new America, not so like the Republic is different. They all have their own agenda. Okay. It's really wild to still, even though I'm getting it, to decipher what the hell that would even look like. So I'm just using the words that were given, because how does one have a country only in the center and then everybody else lives around it like a freaking donut? Like, what is, it makes no sense, but they just keep showing like a cluster being that. And one of the things I kept on seeing is a lot of folks like going north and going south and just trying to get out. Yeah, I'll get to that. I'm all over the place here. All right. I want to finish with the US before I go on to other things. Okay, how does this affect the people of America? This is economics, US currency. This is wild, guys. Okay. US currency. Who said in my predictions last year where I talked about, the US dollar moving into more of an electric, which is happening, right? We know that that's happening now when I saw it in 2021 and 2022. So here's the thing, there is a collapse. And I talked about then the banks that were collapsing. Do you remember that? It's already happening. So the eagle falls, the country is enslaved by another kind of force. There is a financial fall, a collapse. This is already starting. We are seeing it. By July, we'll see more of it. Money is no longer money as predicted. It is an electric currency. The reason is for tracking and control. One central bank, the US bank, which is the reserve, right? One main, and I saw it like a sun. So here's the reserve, and there's 5 branches that are going to come out of that. And from there, that's where it goes out to the people. So all these extra banks, they kind of feel like they fall obsolete. The hub of currency is the US Reserve, but now it's stricter. From there, it will flow to the people. However, paper money is obsolete, and I feel like that's closer to 2025. And there is a point where the US dollar falls to about 30 cents to the dollar. That's horrific. So make no doubt about it, it is bankrupt. We're bankrupt. Money seems to be something that is unified globally. There's some kind of link to one another. I'm not sure how this serves the world, but I just saw like the yen, everything just looks like it starts to go into one space. So it looks like this is very premeditated. All these banking collapse, all the collapse of these banks feels very premeditated because there is a larger plan at work. When your money is of a digital currency, they now control you. And that's pretty wild. And that's where I said, well, how does this affect the American people? It is no longer control of your money. People are no longer making sole decisions on it. If you owe, they can collect without your consent. This also feels to me like it's taking the track of it reminded me, I keep on seeing the Chinese flag. The Chinese flag already does this with their people. So they can collect your monies. This could be used against you if you're going for a job. How they just, if you want to leave and you can't, and if you want to leave the country, they'll take, if you're not supposed to be, or they don't want you, or they're saying you want to leave to Canada. You can't, you don't have any money. It is a form of control. All old America, not new America. It's a tracking. If you owe the government and you try to relocate until the debt is paid off, you are not a free citizen of the world. Many will seek refuge in new countries, but this will follow them. And this seems like a cause for rebellion also. Again, all leading to separation. I kept on hearing tangible goods, tangible goods, tangible goods. So things like silver, gold. I said it before, I'm saying it again. Invest wisely and many will suffer the loss of their investments. Sorry about that. Okay, so around July, I kept on seeing the number 7. A collapse in the dollar, not just US dollar, but many other global currencies. Okay, then I have another message from Spirit. It starts off by saying, we love you and appreciate all the efforts humankind is making in its survival and tolerance of one another. We see this and it is noted in the books of life. If all are to succeed, all must come together in this beautiful union of life. There is hope always. It is our divine wish for all to flourish here on earth. All, exclamation point, not just some. As you are witnessing here, when you focus on love, your messages change. These times aren't much different from the past, just the people have changed in face. Love prevails. The children are here. The heroes of the earth have arrived. The ones here have done a great job at attacking and exposing evil or low vibrations for what they are. All men fall to their fates in their own time. A feast of pleasure awaits all on the other side. We reward love with love for such things, and what is love feels great. Rest assured, this is divinely guided. I also understand when the dollar falls, many countries turn their backs on us because it seems as though the US does not repay their debts. And I don't know much about that, but it just seems to me like, you know, we're those people that don't pay their bills. So no one really wants to negotiate or renegotiate at this time. So it is wise to invest differently. I'm going to. Let's close it. All right. The new America. Seems like 30 or around 30-ish states. Who is the ROA? The Republic of America. The deep state. They stripped the country, divide all, going in it's all about the natural resources, guys. That's so very American, isn't it? Going for natural resources. The lands are rich in resources, both soil and oil. Hence the rise in silver and gold. It's time for the new gold rush, but it is oil that they seek this time. The people are migrating once again. Freedom is a thing of the past in the ROA. Here all owe the government. To leave, you must pay a dear price. Your money is worthless. Many are stuck. It seems at first only about 500,000 people are welcomed into other countries bordering us. Then I got this thing, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She gets caught between some sort of crazy scandal between some sort of Republicans or representatives. Anyway, she's stripped of her title by her supporters. So I don't know if any of you guys are big fans of hers, but I think that, you know, karma's real. I want to talk about a new type of plague or illness or something. The toxins in the water supply will start to surface the many illnesses and diseases. Some sort of, it looks like it attacks your skin in some ways for some people. But also it looks like it's just tearing through some, like your GI. It just starts to, all these illnesses start to arise, and it seems like it's water-based. There's also, I will say this, just to preface it, I don't feel like anything hits us harder than COVID did, period. I think we've survived something that people won't see for multiple lifetimes. So any of these fear things that are going to be coming at you, you can survive. But when I sit in prediction of illness and things of that, these are not natural born illnesses. These are due to the contamination that's been done to our food and our water, which leads me back to the last 2 years when I was doing predictions and I was telling everyone, hey guys, maybe it's time to start growing your food. There's a reason why these multi-billionaires are buying the land and killing off hundreds and thousands of cows and chickens and destroying crops, because they're going to control us by resources. See what I mean? When they control your money and your food supply, what do? There's some sort of like a guerrilla something. I don't know what I keep on hearing coming out of Africa, something guerrilla, but it actually has really nothing to do with Africa. It looks like it was born in an Asian origin country. So I'm not sure why they're attaching Africa to it or guerrilla, but I think it's just kind of a scapegoat because it has nothing to do with that. So listen, life as we know it ceased to exist in 2020. So anything that I'm saying here is just kind of like, oh, we can take that, you know, to be quite honest, because we really survived 2020. There are no natural born diseases anymore. But I've got something great to counter that. So I really was intentional. I'm like, if you're going to give me the ugly, give me the good, because I just can't be the bearer of bad news. Okay. Gen X, Z, Alpha are definitely here to change the world. We are at a major global crossroads, and we do get to the other side. There is light. There is light. And for all who are moving towards that 5D existence, towards the betterment, we get to celebrate that, okay? We do. You know, it's terrible. There are some people who like living in China, right? There are. It works for them. It wouldn't work for some of us, but it works for them. And it's gonna be, there are gonna be some who will like to live in the Republic. Many of us will not. But for those who have the same mindset, it serves them. Okay. Russia. I'll talk about Russia, North Korea, UK, and then we'll go into some cool stuff. Okay. Russia, as they continue their attack on, they lose steam and momentum. Ties with other world leaders do not feel like they are entirely followed through. So it looks like whatever plans they're making falls apart in many ways also. And I kept on seeing Putin, and he looks fake. There's something about him that looks fake, like they're using a double or something, but something about him doesn't look normal. At least in the vision that I kept on having, it just appears as though it's a double. I don't know. It just doesn't, he doesn't look real. The Russian ruble and the Chinese renminbi, their money. The currency stays up. And that's because there's some sort of financial partnership that they have going on with oil, magnesium, and other natural resources, but also looks like it's attaching to the continent of Africa in some way, shape, or form, and one particular country within the continent of Africa. And it seems as though they try to corner a market with this triad, and then they bring on someone else. And I kept on hearing a link to like Venezuela or something like that. So there's something there that's going on. But in terms of like the physical war with Ukraine, that seems to lose some steam, and either we hear less about it or it just loses its steam. North Korea, Kim Jong-un. Someone in the family seems to have passed. I believe it's his brother, and he has a sister, and it makes her very powerful in the country. And apparently she is ruthless. I don't know anything about them. UK, Australia, welcome Americans who are interested in coming back to the old world that is leading in new ways. It's almost like a play on how they want to word it. A lot of expats are heading in many directions: north, south, east, west. New migrations, Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, England seem to be very popular for many. And I saw cruise lines, like actual cruise lines, being the main source of transportation. And helping people do this. Okay. Let's go to AI. I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys. Okay. I was a little nervous to talk about this because I'm like, everyone, they're gonna think I'm crazy. They're gonna think I'm crazy if I deliver this, but I'm gonna deliver it because if we're, we act like it doesn't exist, then we're just being silly and we need to know. We all want to know if there's extraterrestrial beings, if there's other life force and all that. And the truth is there is. Okay? There is. There's no other way around it. And there's at least 3 species that live amongst humans. Be uncomfortable. It's okay. It's okay to also think, Nina, you've completely lost your shit right now. It's okay. If the thought of extraterrestrial beings make you uncomfortable, close your ears. Because they are here and they have been for as far back as time. Okay. But they've also been a huge, huge aid to this world, especially the last 40 to 50 years with technology. We have only gotten this far because of the partnerships that we have had with them. Okay. And now they are aiding multiple governments with artificial intelligence. There will be a coming out, if you will, of these beings. It will be an attempt to be a peaceful introduction. Many will not be prepared. I'm leaning again towards 2025. Right now, 3 species live amongst humans, camouflaging and living as productive members of society. Has anyone ever heard of reptilians? That is a real deal thing. Real deal. Creepy as fuck. I'm sorry for cursing, but it's creepy. It's, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around it. I believe it. I do believe it. Let me just be very clear, but it's hard to acknowledge. It's hard to like say, oh yeah, I've been living here for 50 years and have I met anyone? Right? When we're in our daily lives going through the grocery store, we don't know. It's not like someone's going to be like, hey guys, look at my bodysuit. That's not going to happen. They did try to prepare us in the 80s. Listen, art is a reflection of life. Make no doubt about it. Hollywood is a different world. A different world. And if many don't think they know before the general population, they are sadly mistaken. They want to live under a rock. But that's how they begin to get in your subconscious mind. It's all very intentional. So, studying us and aiding in our growth towards ascension. That's what they've been doing. There also seems like they have a lot of partnerships with government. They study us, we study them. There is an exchange here. When in terms of AI, we still have much to learn. That this technology will be both a blessing and a curse in our future. It reminded me of like RoboCop. You guys remember RoboCop, that movie? That's exactly what it reminded me of, because it seems that many big breakthroughs in AI will be towards like law enforcement, bank tellers, anything that can control population. Okay. In time, it looks like people purchase things as companions. It's really, really just wild. And some to care for their home and do their work as well. Then that brought me to the Jetsons. You guys remember where she would be around the house and she would be the housekeeper? That's what it seems like. It's just so wild. Like, I remember being a child thinking, oh, could you imagine something like that actually existing? And now we're living in a time where something that like that can possibly exist. This is a very 3D experience, though. Okay. Techie, new, all that is still very low vibrating. You would think it's a little bit more high vibrating, but the energy of it is very dense. NASA and CERN partner up in understanding how to integrate human and alien life and unlimited energy. So here's the thing, where it just kind of has me tripped up. CERN is, their ultimate goal is to find the God particle, right? I don't know how that partnering works exactly. I don't think that it's for me to fully understand. I kept on seeing holograms as well. There's a level of reality that exists and does not exist. And I think we'll leave that for Spirit to explain to you guys later. You guys want to get into some juicy gossipy stuff? Oh, really, really quick. Despite uproars and protests from big pharma, a cure for specific cancer is shared. It may not cure all cancers, but most definitely saves many lives caught within specific stages. So that was wonderful news. And some way, shape, or form, there's like, I kept on hearing Dr. Sebi, something about his studies are included in creating this pharmaceutical. And also, solar powered cars seem to be introduced around 2025, between 2025 and 2030. So those are huge breakthroughs towards saving the earth. Okay, so I thought that was fun. That was wonderful news. That's nice to get something great. Okay. The Royals. I actually got this about 3 days ago. There's a sudden illness for the king. I'm not sure if he passes away, but there's a sudden illness, which then puts William in place. And the temporary dueling of brothers continue to be controversial until there is a possibility for growth for the English territory. Never meeting on common ground, they find a mutual footing for the longevity of the British monarchy. Harry is a king in his own right, a king in the new world, something to do with Americas by default. He leads with his heart, a kinder soul than his half brother. That's the part that got me. Half brother. Girl, Diana got some drama. That is his half brother. I had to clutch the pearls for a minute. I said, oh, what happened? So, just saying. Now, back in, I want to say 2010 or something like that, I always spoke about British royalty coming to the US and really being a vital hand in helping this country. I always saw like coins falling with British, like with the Queen's face on it. I thought it was money related, debt related, but I just think it's more of a, it feels more ethical, spiritual, spiritually aligned. I don't know what role he's going to play here, but it does seem like he does play a role. So we'll just leave it there. I like the feel of it. It feels really good. I don't think he's going to try to make this England. I think he respects the fact that it is American territory and land and people. But there is, make no mistake about it, there is some connection to UK. So that's interesting. We'll see how that kind of comes about. So that's fun. So this is, I sat down 11:52 this morning, and I said, is there anything else you want to say? This piggybacks to the royals, and then I'll go to the rest. The crown bears a shame for what it has lost through exposure of its truth, and it will rise to new heights with its two new kings. The brothers are now parallel. I'll leave that there. Old versus new, 3D versus 5D. Here's your feel-good prediction. See, I was like, give me something. Here's your feel-good prediction. Humankind has endured many trials throughout time and history and always prevails. You are intelligent life for your years here. Growth hurts. Mistakes will always be made, as you are all human. I can feel the sensation of joy. And then I started sitting, I said, it says, take this twist in time as your lesson to never repeat in your new Americas. Then I heard old versus new, 3D versus 5D. And I sat in that for a few minutes, and I can feel a sensation of joy, pure elation, a festival of riches in terms of new ways, new norms, new society. What was left in the 3D can no longer be found here. There's a sense of symmetry and harmony. A safer space others didn't think could ever exist. This is not heaven. It is in fact your earth. For all that seemed to go wrong, you will once again make right. It is a time for work to be done on a greater and more intelligent scale. You have an army of intelligence behind you, with spacemen and women are here for such to celebrate in unison as you share a vision of harmony and growth. The entire world does not yet see as you do, and then the channel, which is me, but it will for some come to be a norm. Segregation in the old America, the Republic of America, will take place in the form of colonies, your towns, your schools, our schools, stores and such, after hours shopping for those less fortunate and that of color or different lifestyles Homosexuality and promiscuous natures and behaviors are not tolerated, and they, government, seek to execute such. You see, men can choose to evolve in tolerance and acceptance, or stay in fear and rush for control in order to suit their limited understandings. Not all can view life the same. Many choose to stay in the republic. Many choose to love on. I'm going to let Spirit answer whatever questions you guys have. Because I can answer some, but they can answer all. How do you guys feel comfortable with that? So for those of you that have never seen me do trance or be in an altered state, let me just explain to you briefly how that works. I am not possessed, just so you know. There's no possession going on. I am sharing a co-conscious mind with spirit, okay? And I have a whole team on the other side, which keep me very, very safe. So it essentially what it feels like for me is like if I decide to go upstairs, I know people are talking, but I'm not really in the business. As spirit flows, they just know there does seem to be sometimes some transfiguration where maybe my voice or my stance or my, I may look a little different, but it's still me, okay? It's still me. There's nothing evil going on. I do surround myself with an army of angels. It's all very loving. They're very funny as well. Spirit can be very funny. So it's okay to have a sense of humor. I ask that you just not call me out by my name, because what happens is I come right back quickly because you're calling my conscious forward. And I need to kind of consciously remove myself from the space so I can share a co-conscious mind with them. Okay? Joy, can I leave you to mind for me?
Sure.
Okay. Does anybody feel uncomfortable? Does anybody have any questions? Because for me, it's like I'm about to take a nap, so I'm very excited. Yes. I can't hear you, Simone.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. So you were talking about the UK connection and kind of slight takeover, for lack of a better word. What about Canada? How does Canada play in that? Because I know there was potentially something there as well. And then, you know, when we were in New Orleans, we saw all of those troops from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
And there, and it looked like what, you know, they were there to do like an exercise, I think they said. That's what they said, but it just seemed really odd. So I don't know if that is part of what's going on, if Canada's going to play in that. And then my other question was around where you mentioned Prince Harry. There seemed to be a lot of focus on him, but I'm wondering about Meghan as well, because she's kind of a powerful person being as he is. So I'm wondering if she plays a role in anything as well, or if it's just kind of the traditional, she's the wife of whoever.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't feel like the UK is like monarching the US in such a way. Like we're not falling under their government. Like it's almost like we're creating our own. Do I think we go from prime minister to president? There's some sort of similarity there for me. Also, one of the things I think I forgot to mention, I don't know how I didn't read this to you guys. It seems as though terms change. You know how a president could only do 2 terms, but Congress, Senate, they can do 400,000 years, right? Some of them look like they've been there that long. Those will change. Those will change. So and that comes closer towards the end of the decade rather than right now. Seems like the next two, between the next 8 years, there's a lot of change going on in policy, reform, country itself, okay? But as far as like Canada, they seems to be in alliance with the New America agenda. And my understanding is, I don't know if any of you are aware, but Biden was in, who is this? Biden was in Canada not so long ago. We're told one thing, something else is being understood. But I believe that that has a lot to do. Who just came in? Who's on the iPhone?
It's Shama.
Hi, Shama.
Hi.
Hi. So whoever is, it's almost like that kind of feels like that's part of the migration that will be happening. Almost like a preparedness for that. What is happening? They already know this shift is happening. Remember I said other countries, they already know about this republic, right? So all they're doing is trying to prepare for it because they can't stop it. Once again, we're just out here, in the dark. Okay,
This is Anjanette. Can I ask a question?
yes.
So when you talk, I mean, this New America thing is just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but one of
You
the
can be
questions.
excited about it.
Well, yeah, if you don't live in one of the states where it may be, and I have a feeling that I live in one of those states. But so how much time will people have to kind of prepare and to move, and how does that affect them? I mean, it just seems like there's this takeover, and yes, we have free will, but the way you described it, there may not be free will, and people will become slaves or whatever it is in those areas. So how much time do we have to prepare and to try to vacate?
It seems like things start to stir up and change rapidly after the next election.
Okay.
I don't know if you're made aware, but there are bills being passed currently in states like Texas and things of that nature, even down south, where rights of people are being taken away left, right, and center. And some of them can easily be translated to human enslavement.
Mm-hmm.
And Nini, I had a question.
Yes.
Because you had talked about welfare of children or safety of children, and you touched on it in relation to gun control and gun laws. But I just read the other day that there's like 3 states trying to repeal child labor laws.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm looking for a bigger picture than just guns in terms of child safety.
So you're correct. Child labor, they're going to say they want to pay, but in certain states, that will fall under the same kind of law that Texas just recently passed. Which is why I was saying that women of childbearing years and children are really being highly sought after. I don't understand how that can seem safe to anyone, but it certainly doesn't feel safe to me. Also, it's very, very disturbing to see a 12-year-old being able to get married to a 30-year-old. And these are things that it seems to me that they're trying to make a norm. I'll be damned, someone's gonna have to kill me before I let something like that happen to my baby, you know, but this is the perversion of the world. To be, if someone asks me, not who I wake up next to in bed, but someone who believes that it is okay that they lay next to a child. That seems insane to me. But that's perspective, right? That's perspective. Yes, Geraldine?
So this kind of brings us back to what we were talking about earlier when you were telling us the prediction and we mentioned The Handmaid's Tale. And all the times that I've watched that series with my husband, I would say to him, oh my gosh, this could happen. Like this could happen to us. And he would say, yeah, but it won't. And now what, what I'm hearing here is, yeah, but it could.
Yeah.
And, you know, I am a mother, to a daughter. I come from 3 sisters and, I definitely have seen things change and evolve in our time. Things like you said, in 2020, we lived through things we never thought we would. And, if some of this stuff comes up again, how much time will we have? Like that was the other question that you've asked. What can we do to prepare ourselves for something like this? If you are a mother of a child, if you are, I'm like, after my childbearing years. So, am I going to end up being, separated from my family and put somewhere where I am no longer a use to the society? And,
Mhm.
that's really frightening, I think, to any of us that are on here and for anyone in our world. So do you see anything about like how realistic is this threat? Like,
How realistic is it? It's about as realistic as everything else I've ever said.
yeah,
Um,
that's right.
what
That's
ha-
really
I don't,
frightening. Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't know the fine details. I just get snippets and pictures and I hear things and I write everything down quickly, like you've seen in my book. It does get disturbing. I woke up many nights with these visions in my head and writing them down quickly because it is so disturbing. And I'll just lay there and saying, this can't be real. This doesn't make any sense. This can't be real. I don't want to say this. And a lot of people were waiting for me to share other predictions last year and I didn't. Because I am sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the way things keep unfolding. But it's also a disservice because how do we prepare? Do I think we have time? I do. But I also think that we are already seeing it unfolding and we're sitting ducks. We're saying, oh my God, it can't get worse than this. And we complain, why isn't someone doing something? Why isn't someone doing something? We're waiting for someone to do something when we need to do something ourselves. Yes. Yes, Lori.
Sorry. You had spoken about a woman, being in charge, a woman president, and women, in general, I think, and as moms and grandmoms, these types of things just turn our stomachs. What kind of impact, will governance under a woman have on this?
Well, my understanding is because a woman can take the lead here, this is what stirs that machismo ego into really kind of trying to make this ROA move forward quicker. But the thing is, she seems very cool, calm, and collected, and she's prepared to fight back. She is prepared to do what she can. Some people choose to stay, some people choose to go. I think that anyone with a brain will want to go, you know, but we are already seeing how different we are. How, those of us who are saying, hey, this gun control thing is crazy. We have to do something to protect our children, our society. That is the 5D mentality. Okay. Those who are like, hey, let's just, whatever, I still want to go and shoot a deer. We're not there anymore. We have evolved past that. And so that mentality helps us grow and saves us. I know that it has to be disheartening for anyone who may live in one of those X states that I showed you. New Jersey is expensive as all hell, but I feel very safe here. I do. I think we're on the right side of things here. A lot of people may not agree with that, but I think we will live to tell a different story. We are all, like Spirit said in the messages, we're very courageous for being here at this time. These are unprecedented. Change has never happened so quickly. Things change every day. Free will is real. We can't change what everyone else is doing, just what we're doing in our day. And we have to be aware of what is happening and ask the deeper questions and do our own research and say, is this what I want? Do I feel comfortable here? I feel very safe where I'm at right now, but that doesn't mean I'm not already looking for plan B. I have plan B and plan C. And I actually texted my family. I said, we need a plan. What is our plan as a family? Because to be quite honest, people who migrated here, they didn't foresee things happening in their country, or maybe they did, but they weren't doing anything about it till it was too late, right? That's all we're doing. All great empires fall. The Romans fell, the Greeks fell, everyone has fallen, right? And then you just grow back up. You just build back up. Compared to the rest of the world, the United States is a baby. This is a huge learning curve. It is unfortunate that we have to be here through the growing pains, but our souls knew that we were coming here for this. I think that, we should have had a hell of a handbook for this lifetime, but it was a courageous act. And there's a reason why you're here. And we're all here to do our part. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. And you don't have to get stuck in the crossfire of it. I don't know who will be abducted. I don't know that. I don't. And I don't know a timeline for someone's life. That's the hand of God, and I can't play that. But what they show me, things are like highlight reels, time frames. So I do understand there is time. I went in thinking this is for 2023 to 2025, and I'm seeing things for 2030 as well. And what I tell you is to prepare, but that 5D experience, that new America, that's actually really great. For women, for children, for society. It gave me a lot of that Netherlands vibe, that vibe of peace. Because when you've had enough, that's it, right? We don't want to make the same mistake in something that has the possibility of being great. And that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be mishaps. But we also all will have learned a lot. If we have an opportunity to start over, do you think that we're all going to be gung-ho for gun for the NRA? I don't think so. I think many of us can be okay with not having a gun in our house. You know, leave that to the hands of those who need it. I think when we know better, we do better. Do we want to fill our bodies with pharmaceuticals? I don't think so. I think that we rather have fresh foods in many ways. There's a reason why our ancestors lived so long and healthy, because they didn't find an answer in every pill. You know, I just feel like some things, while they're moving forward, they take on old world ways. And some things that are left behind feels like they try to advance too fast in other ways. So, you know, it's kind of like this crisscross thing. And every time I would go over this and I would sit in it, I'm like, wow, this is really wild. Spirit reaffirmed that, no, you're okay. You're okay. It looks scary, but you are okay because you know, and you're going to take action, and we all have the time to take that action. It's when we act like nothing is happening that we're caught in the crossfire of it. We question everything. But it will take a woman to clean up this mess. When men, not to, you know, make this a man-woman thing, but we know that if a man has a common cold, he's going to lay down, cry all day about it, right? And a woman's still doing 10 jobs with the flu. Think of it. If a woman takes the lead, he's going to lay down and throw a fit. He doesn't feel good about this. This doesn't feel right. Oh no, I can't do what I normally do. She's going to go in and do 10 things to make it better. So we can go into this next 8 years with an open mind and saying, all right, we're watching. We have plans. This is what we're going to do. This is who we are. This is what we want to be. This is how we're going to support. Because it's no longer about me. It is really a collective thing. You know, we're all in our own little worlds, but if we think for 1 minute how we live our lives doesn't affect the world around us, we're wrong. I don't see, someone had asked if, she's not here, she'll get a copy of the recording. If teachers will have to utilize firearms in schools or get some sort of training for firearms in schools. You know, I don't see teachers bearing firearms in schools. But we already have security that does, right? In many urban environments. So I had to sit with that a little bit, because at first I was like, yes. And then I understood, no, there's already personnel there that does that. It's not a teacher. I do see a lot of military on the street. And I feel like that's kind of, I forgot what they call that. This is all during time of transition, 2024 into 2025. So this is all in times of transition. This is all leading. 2023 is just a lead into the craziness of next year. It makes perfect sense. It's an election year. everyone's going to be wacko. You know, everyone's going to be tearing everyone apart for having an opinion, for having a belief, instead of unifying. You see, that's our biggest problem. We don't know how to set boundaries. We don't know how to say, oh, you like pink, I like blue. How dare you like blue when I like pink? As if it takes away from your ability to like blue. It doesn't. But that's our greatest demise, is our arrogance. We are an arrogant country. Make no mistake about it. People want to say it's pride. We're arrogant. We think we're right. And look at us being right. Look at where that has gotten us. On the wrong side. On the wrong side of history. You know, but everyone and everything falls from grace. And so this is it. And we're gonna grow. And we're gonna come back better as a people, where we want to be. Yes. Carrie, you raised your hand.
Yes, I was being patient.
Thank you.
I have two questions.
Yes.
Can I ask two or no?
Yes.
All right. So since you were just on the schools thing, being that I'm an elementary school principal, my question would be, like in education, as a leader in education, you know, I'm already thinking like, you know, my colleagues are talking about how to get better at math. And I'm thinking we need to prepare students for this new America or this world, right? Without obviously going in there and saying, I sat with Nini this weekend and she said all the things, right? So what is your recommendation for educational leaders and how to best prepare the children?
Because I know how you work, I'm going to say this, that I believe you are already arming these kids with consciousness, a higher consciousness, to be better global citizens, to be considerate, because the direction that we want to go is something a little bit more harmonious, right? If we're like tuck and roll and do all this, now we're teaching them how to prepare for fear, right? How to prepare for catastrophe, right? But when we raise our awareness from a place of love, which is what we're doing, I know all this sounds crazy, but we are preparing to rise, to ascend, to shift our mindset to something more unifying, so we can leave what all this ugly crap is about behind. So when it comes to the children, hey, that kid next to you, if he hurt his arm and he can't tie his shoe, help him tie his shoe, right? Because what we're building is community. And we really talk to these children about that. How we're greater in numbers. How we can be we, not just me. One of my proudest moments as a grandmother, I went to pick up Nora at school the other day, and the teacher said, can I tell you my favorite Nora moment of the day? I said, yeah. One of her schoolmates was having trouble putting on her shoe, and it was nap time. So she gave the teacher the thumbs up, like, can I go help her? And the teacher saw that Nora kept on looking at her schoolmate, and the teacher gave her a thumbs up and said, shh, but be quiet, right? So Nora went over there and unvelcroed the shoe for her friend, so her friend could put her shoe on, and then velcroed it back up for her. And then she came back and laid down. It was nap time. So when we teach them, we're building community. We're teaching them community, global citizenship. Because no matter where you are, you're not alone. But if you live as if it is the island of you, then that's division, right? Walls keep people out.
Thank you. Can I ask the other one?
Yep.
And then the other one goes back to the financial, right, where you talked about
Mhm.
the money as control and, people being unable to go places they're not global citizens, right, because of owing the whoever, right? So of course my thought goes to student loans and my, my husband. Um, so is there a recommendation for a focus exit strategy or plan, for that, right? Like I think, like I have a mortgage, I just bought a house. He owes the student, the federal government for his student loans. Is there any student loan forgiveness that's done? Is that what we're talking about as far as owing?
I don't think there is no forgiveness from the ROA. And I think once those things are established on New America ROA, again, 3D, 5D, okay? I do feel like then forgivenesses are made. I do really feel like we're going to a global health system. I really do feel like we're moving in that direction. And I also believe that also like universal health care, I also feel as though we're going in the way of like a college as well. So that feels like there's a huge forgiveness there in federal loans. Private loans, I don't know. I think that's part of the collapse, but federal loans, I believe so. So there's like this weird shift. I just see kind of things rotating when it comes that way, but it's almost like you want immediate release. There's a price to pay for peace, but money looks like it's very tracked. So if you owe government money, it almost feels like it just looks like a bunch of hands grabbing at it. So I'm not quite sure how it all works out, but I feel like 5D America definitely goes more towards universal healthcare and college, university. Maybe it goes first junior colleges and state colleges, and then private feels a little bit different. But I feel like if it's federally funded, there is little to no fee. All right, guys, I'm gonna go down for a few minutes, maybe 10, and then come back. How about that? Shama, you there?
I'm here. Sorry I was late.
It's okay. It's
I had
okay.
to I was like, I'll join after I put the little one down for her nap. So she's in her crib talking, but we'll see if she naps.
So cute. All right, I'm gonna go into an altered state so everyone can ask their questions. It's 2:12 now. This is gonna be at 2:22 because I have it set for manifesting. So I'm gonna come out just before that. Okay. All right, so just no one say my name. And everyone, unless you're going to if you're gonna ask a question, just put your hand up so that Joy can say, go ahead, go. So everyone's not talking above each other, okay? Isn't this quite the sight to behold? Isn't this quite an affair?
Who are we speaking to?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Arnold is my name.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Is there something you came
We
to share
are-
with us?
Delighted to be a part of such a event and perhaps bring some ease to your mind as we have shared quite a bit of information with all today and for the past weeks leading to this day. It is our wish that you understand that nothing that has been shared was to bring you pain or angst or concern, but this is the way of the world in which you are living and moving and growing. And it is not to be feared, but to be understood that you all are divinely cared for and guided in this path. And we are here for you to do so. Many men and women before you have endured cruelty as well. This is not about that. This is about your growth as a nation and a people globally.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Arnold? What do you think is the most important piece of information for us to keep in mind right now?
That you survive this. As you all have survived so much already, that you are greater as a force than you understand, that there is more to this than meets your physical eye and your limited understanding, that there is a force so much greater at work, a force that is led with love, not demise.
Thank you.
It is an understanding that we have about 3 minutes.
Yes.
We also understand many here are unsure if they could even open their mouths to speak to us. Please know you are safe. It is our wish to be here for you.
And that's reassuring for us to know.
It is with love and respect that we are here today. This is not an everyday norm occurrence, we understand. For you, for the vessel, maybe.
Yes.
The vessel is a good sport.
Yes, very true.
Well, it appears to us that many seem stunned, unsure, and partially afraid of this form of communication. Boo.
Geraldine?
Yes, what is the first thing that you would like us to do after this to use this as a positive experience?
My dear friend, we are not here to tell you what to do, rather to inform you what is to come. What you choose to do must come from your heart.
Okay, thank you.
Because we each have free will.
Correct. Do not fear what you do not know, because you now know. There will always be someone, something that will bring about or stir a fear and or an insecurity in others. It is your choice if you feed that or move towards a space that you want to live in. It is our time to go.
Thank you for coming and sharing.
You for opening your heart. Oh, Jesus, be quiet. All right.
Well, that was someone new that came through. Or new for me anyway.
It wasn't,
It
it
was
wasn't white, it wasn't White Eagle?
No, it was Arnold. I never met Arnold before.
Me either. When I felt myself come back and I was sitting up straight. Was I sitting up straight the whole time?
Yes, and it
I
spoke.
thought it was White Eagle because White Eagle, I'm always sitting up very straight.
No, White Eagle, you
No,
did-
that's Sumatra.
Oh, Sumatra, you're right.
Sumatra almost
Sumatra.
makes me feel like my back hurts. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so this was Arnold who spoke very fast.
The headache.
But
Huh?
nobody had too many questions.
Why?
Nene,
Well, I'm trying to keep my crown chakra on.
Arnold said that we were afraid and that and then went ooh like that. And I felt like it was for me because I was mad shook just now.
Well, you've seen me go into trance before.
I don't think I have actually. Crazy.
This was my first time.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Me
let
too.
let
Yeah,
me-
me too.
It was different, but it was, I guess I personally didn't know what to ask. I didn't, It was like, okay, what do I ask?
That's where I was too.
I really love trance. It's a version, I go into an altered state when I'm doing predictions, but a little bit lighter so that I could write. I can go into automatic writing. So going into full trance is just a little bit, well, it's not a little bit, it's a lot deeper than the state that I'm in when I'm getting predictions, because in predictions I have to write, but in trance, I just let them talk because there's infinite wisdom there.
Yeah, well, he said that, you know, they've been working, you know, with you intensely the past couple weeks on the, you know, predictions, and said that nothing was said to, you know, scare us or anything, but just more to prepare us.
Have you
So
guys
that-
ever heard of Abraham Hicks?
Yeah.
That's trance. She's just doing trance. She's sharing a co-conscious mind with spirit. Spirit has unlimited wisdom. It is, you know, we can solve so many things. We can heal so many people because there's no boundaries to what spirit knows. Oh man, I wish you guys asked your questions.
I wasn't sure if we could ask like personal questions, so I didn't say anything. But I've experienced trance in person, so that wasn't new, or it wasn't unnerving, but I was kind of, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I was thrown because I don't know why I had it in my mind that it was going to be White Eagle or Elizabeth. And I was trying, you know, as you were going under, I was trying to gauge, you know, your movements and stuff. And at first I thought it was Elizabeth, because at first it was talking slow, but then all of a sudden he was talking really fast.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know, as we grow, our team grows. So, well, there's a time and place for everything. Maybe it wasn't your time to ask. Maybe we'll do it again. Maybe I'll just do a whole trance hour. But come prepared with your questions. Are you
think
okay,
it's-
Geraldine?
I think it's scary, you know, especially if you've never
Yeah.
experienced it, you know, like afraid you're going to say the wrong thing or.
Yeah. I tried to explain it, but I don't think until you see it, it's hard to understand. It's not something you're just rolling up on. You know, people are just talking about randomly. It's not like it's not like a psychic thing where people are just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a psychic reading. Like this is very in-depth metaphysical practice that not everyone is just gonna wake up doing. This is something that I've worked, you know, I've been doing for years and years and years, and I won't do it in huge, you know, it's for limited people.
I think even
I
though we
think
didn't
I
ask,
asked, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's
no,
okay.
I was just gonna say, even though we didn't ask a lot of questions, Nini, it was it was comforting, you know. So while I was scared and uncomfortable, I was comforted by the words that were said of like,
Good.
you will survive this, and this is not to invoke fear, this is to inform. So like that was helpful. Just wanted to share that. Sorry, Geraldine.
Good.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just going to say, I think I asked the wrong question because I said, is there anything that we should take away from this to do first? Like, what should we be most, you know, I can't even remember what the words I used, but it was, I can't tell you what to do, like, because you have like free will and whatever.
Right.
But really what I wanted to say is, what should we take away? Like, what's the most important thing we should take away from your messages? And I think that would have probably had a different answer than the way I asked. It was like, what
Yeah.
should we do next?
Yeah.
And it
'cause
was like, I
Oh.
can't tell you what to do next. Right.
And you know what, Spirit's funny because they're going to answer the exact question you asked.
Yeah.
It's almost like Amelia Bedelia. They're very literal. You know, they have a great sense of humor, but they will take it exactly the way you give it because that was your free will to ask that way.
Right. So it took me so long to come up with it. And then I was like, now I don't know what, I got nothing.
Free will. I mean, what do you do? What's the biggest takeaway? Well, I can't answer for Spirit, but I can answer for as me. Is that okay? It's not as good, but is that okay?
Well, I think I had sort of asked that of him. When nobody was asking questions, I had said, and, it was to not be afraid.
I think, one of the things that I've gotten from this is that the world is always changing. People are always changing, and it hasn't ceased to exist yet. Change isn't bad. Change isn't always a bad thing. It's uncomfortable. And I think that's what we're going to go through, a discomfort.
He said we survived this.
Yes.
You
So
see?
very comforting.
Yeah. I don't think this is about like bombs coming down on us. I think it's about us really avoiding that and understanding and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe in the ROA, our money isn't good, but in New America, it's great. We're surviving. We're thriving. We're living in a space that we want to. And that comes with change, that the faces change. We change, and we are changing. If anyone told me they're the same person today that they were in 2020, I would say they're a liar. We've changed. And guess what? We're going to change again. And here we are. It goes back to the first message where Spirit says, you're so courageous for being here at this time. When has there been 100-year span that there hasn't been change? We're always born between some kind of change. It's just a different kind. That's all. It's the same, but different. Does that make sense? Oh, sorry. What is going on here?
I
Sorry.
apologize, but I need to drop off.
That's okay. We're going to be ending this call now also. I will be sending a copy to everyone here.
Okay.
I ask because there are other people on this that you do not share this, and we respect one another's privacy. If you want to talk about what we've talked about, you're welcome to do so. But, it's kind of the honor system here. And I would send you all just the regular recorded copy, but I think the conversations we had in between are equally as important. Okay? So you all will get this copy, but everyone else will get other ones. All right?
Thank you, Nini.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Nini, so much.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
really. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.